I gotta switch on my mic. That's smart. Oh man. Sorry about that. Whoa. That's smart. Okay, my audio is pretty bad, so I'm gonna try to fix that. If anyone is watching, I've got 2 people watching. Whoever's watching, hopefully you can chat. I think I need to put some noise reduction. This sounds really bad. And echo cancellation. It's okay. Anyway, I don't know why it's so nasty. That's weird. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna try to talk as much as I can. Sorry guys, my audio's nasty and I don't know what to do. Let's try to go on Facebook. Let's see if this is working on Facebook. If anyone is on Facebook, would love to see if you guys hear me. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna leave the audio as it is and just keep talking, and hopefully you guys are okay with the audio. So I got 3 people now watching, which is great. I don't know who you are. Would love to know if you guys are in Dubai, if you guys are video guys, or you're just watching because you're probably bored. Um, I did a video recently, so let me try to show that to you guys. I'm gonna try to show a local video now, and oops, going into my folders. What am I doing? Where's my folder? Oh, I unplugged my hard drive. That's smart. That's smart, Richie. Okay. So, luckily, I I posted on my YouTube. So I'll just try to share my screen then. And let's see where it is. Got no one watching. Great. Doesn't matter. All right. So I am gonna play this video on YouTube. All right. Let me try to share my screen. And I'll make this full screen. Cool. All right. So you can find this on my YouTube channel. Just search for my name. I did this recently with Maxim. So Maxim, luckily, is someone I met. Let's just play it. I'm gonna mute this audio. So we met just literally um, at a cafeteria, and it's an interesting thing that happens when you basically just start talking. I thought he was a tourist, but he's been in Dubai since 2017, and yeah, he lives in the Barsha area. I just asked him where he's from, blah blah blah. What does he do? I was like, oh, cool. You're a gym instructor or fitness coach, and yeah, really nice guy. Uh, and I, to be honest, wanted to just figure out how to make content or videos with my new camera. But I think for the first trial on how to make, okay, it's loading. That's awesome. I guess my internet is nasty, but yeah, it's interesting how you can meet people and just make something out of it. Like I was really trying to figure out how to make my first documentary. So I'm gonna go to the first topic, which is how I made my first mini documentary. So the first talks were mainly about how do I do this? Like I basically talked to him. Actually, I just met him like randomly on like he was coming home and I'm like, hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. I want to do something. He's like, yeah, sure, let's do something. And we just got talking. He got sick when we were the first time we were actually supposed to meet and do something. So you know I didn't push it. He got food poison. Like, what can you do? Um, and that's probably what's going to happen if you ever try to do these type of things. There will be times where you're like, oh, okay, you've planned stuff, and then it's like it's not happening. So you got to be prepared for things that you don't know or you're not sure if it's going to happen. So it's always going to be a surprise and not like going into a commercial video or like doing a commercial or doing a proper video shoot. Like you're gonna have to just deal with the surprises and deal with the environment you're in. So it was really interesting. It was definitely a challenge for me because I've never really done something like this before in terms of following someone around, trying to get a story out of one person, um, and even just figuring out why would people watch this and why would it be interesting to watch. And yeah, it's definitely something I would like to do again. Probably, I'm probably gonna hit up a football player because her name is Arij, and she's like one of the first, not first, like she's probably the only football player I've taken pictures of, and I got really good pictures of her doing you know, it was like broad daylight, and I was into photography back then. But anyway, so I might do that. So this is my first attempt. I'll probably try to do probably five more or four more of these because it is tough. It is a lot of work. Oh, nice. LeBron James after I finish um, my video. Anyway, so the point is you're definitely gonna face uh, a lot of issues. Not issues, but you're gonna definitely um, what's the word to use? It's not gonna be easy. So some of the challenges I faced were long hours and multiple shoots. Definitely. Um, we were the first day, so we started off. It was Friday morning. I woke up really early because my son kicked me around when he's 5 years old, so he was kicking me around, and I woke up. So I was like, okay, I'm already awake. What do I do? I'm gonna message him, and I just told him, hey Max, let's meet up. Let's try to do something. Luckily, he was awake. We went to the park, got some nice. Actually, before we went to the park, we did the scene, which I'll show you again. Let me try to get it out. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so gonna show the start again, and this part where he's just having tea, and we're just chilling on a stoop. Just he's on his phone, and we had no idea what we were doing, to be honest. I was just thinking, okay, how do I make this interesting? What is he gonna say? Like there are so many you obviously have multiple takes and you're trying to figure out, okay, will this make sense? Will that make sense? Okay. Now, of course, if you go on YouTube and stuff, you're gonna see people talk about, oh, you have to have a storyboard and shot list. But I was like, whatever. Like I'm already tired. I was at work yesterday. I'm up at 6 a.m. Friday. I want to enjoy myself, but I'm gonna do this because I want to make better videos and do different types of videos. Because I'm so used to corporate stuff and I've never really done something like this. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's just go with the flow. So I'm like, okay, listen, state your name, whatever. He's like, okay, cool. He does it. I see the footage when I get home, and I'm like, this is whack. So um, we then go into, uh, yeah, just he does the whole talking part, get him on his phone, um, and then I'm like, okay, here's like, why don't you get some, why don't you get some people to ask you some questions, um, or what questions do people ask you most of the time on Instagram or whatever. So we did that. I thought it was interesting or whatever. It's like something to just kind of make him look normal and a human being rather than, oh, I'm a fitness freak, and more humanizing the character, I guess. And then I'm like, look, let's just go to the park. It's nearby, because we didn't really know what we were gonna do. It was also luckily it was like 6 a.m., so it wasn't hot, which is really good for me because I'm gonna be dying with 40 degrees. It is June right now in Dubai, so yes, it is hot and humid. So here is the part where we go to the park, and I'm literally just I'm stitching the footage together, but I'm getting him to talk, putting people on top in post, and kind of just matching the footage together while he's talking about his what do you call life. And yeah, I never really got too much into his what do you call where he's really from, like, because he's mentioned that he's from Ukraine and stuff. But I'm hoping that whatever he says kind of made sense as to where he's from. And of course, if you are from Ukraine, you would understand. Now, if you don't understand, uh, probably do some research. It's not exactly the best country to live in, so that's why people come to Dubai. Safety, security, and so on. But I didn't want to make it about that because it we were both it's also an agreement between us, as in me and Maxim, where I didn't want to make something which is gonna also make his country look bad, because that's not the point of what I was trying to do. Of course, there are countries that are could be worse, or whatever the case may be. So there is that sensitive, you need to know your boundaries, I guess. And it was also my first time. I can't just, hey, let's talk about Ukraine and how bad it is. Like, it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't link to me, at least. Maybe in the future I'd do something like that, but as for now, no. And then he just talks about his personal life, blah blah blah. Get some cool B-roll of him exercising. This was actually fun in the park because I basically got to use my gimbal, and I was trying to run with him, which is so tough. I was really trying to run with him, and this was the hardest thing ever because I've got the gimbal, I'm running, I'm not as fast as him. I tried my best, and you saw the shakiness, but it was fun. It was fun. And then getting different shots. So he's talking. I didn't want it to be like, you know, smack in the middle. Um, and then again, using the gimbal. Luckily, I had the FX3 with, I used the wide angle lens, and it actually is balanced nicely on my Ronin S. What is it? SC. What is it again? I don't know. Ronin SC, which is not expensive. I paid like 1,500 600 dirhams for it, and it's holding a really expensive cinema camera. So I'm very happy with that. Um then I just overlaid it with some assets. So I told him, hey, can you send me some some assets? You know, like, for example, this is a photo of him. I don't know if it's in Dubai or Ukraine, but I told him, send me some old stuff. So that's also important. Spending time with the subject, finding out, if he has any old information or if he can send it across, anything to help send across that message um, in the video. So where he's from, like the picture with Arnold, I never even knew he's had a picture, or like, Arnold was a big thing. I'm sure, if you're from Ukraine or European country and you're into fitness and bodybuilding, that's like a big thing. He never mentioned it. So again, just because you spend 2 3 days a lot with one person doesn't mean he's going to tell you everything. This is You have to really get that information from someone, the subject, and maybe that's something I have to learn, which is figuring out how to extract that type of what you call information from a subject. So, but I was happy with the shots. In terms of color grading, I just use a Cinetone because I'm not confident enough to use S-Log3 and grade as well. It's also my computer can't really handle S-Log3 yet, but I'm really loving the SCD tone still. I love the colors. I love the fact that, you just expose properly. Just make sure it's not overexposed. I love this shot. I'm just loving the way I've got the shadows on his face, and this is 4K 120. Obviously, you can't really tell when it's on YouTube, but it does the job. I like what I see on Premiere Pro. Um, and yeah, just using one lens, the 28 to 70 Tamron does the job. I'm not really like gonna go crazy. Oh, the bokeh's like not circle. Like, it doesn't matter. It does the job. Um, and then again, putting some assets, getting nice B-roll, 4K B-roll. We tried some other shots here. I tried to make him pour water on his face, but it did not look good. So you're gonna have to take different types of shots, multiple shots, different things you think would work, and sometimes it works in the cut, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it just looks really corny and cheesy. So you just don't show it. I love this shot where, so again, I'm on the gimbal, and then I love this shot because I got him to basically, this was just by chance, to be honest. Like, getting him to be, I'll go back again, getting him to be in a spot where the light is literally on his face. That's just pure luck, to be honest. But I love the fact that that happened because I didn't have to do any type of, um, you know, what's the word to use? Bevel or anything. It's like a natural, nice bevel on his face. So, and then I did a nice transition there. Simple stuff, nothing crazy. Uh, these animated texts are basically essential graphics on Premiere Pro. I'm sure you guys can find a lot of templates. So if you don't know, just look at. You can either learn, so you can learn a bit of After Effects, or if you're like me, just find some really cool templates on Envato Elements, or just go on YouTube and you there's people who do nice, cool lower thirds. So these shots literally just went to his gym, and then I mixed it up with footage where he wanted to go to Blue Waters, and the initial plan was he wanted to have a suit. Now, I told him, look, it's a really bad idea because, first of all, it's super hot. And yeah, it's just super hot. It was crazy. We went that night and it was like, I don't know, the humidity was insane. It was insane. And again, there's a lot of challenges you're gonna face because we were trying to film with my FX3, and the security came, said, "Hey, you can't film. You need to get some papers." Blah blah blah. I was like, "This is too much." Like, we're not. By the time we finished, it was already late. We already met like once, so it's still Friday. So I met him Friday morning, did 2 hours or two and a half hours with him in the morning, getting all those shots, and then I met him again in the evening and got these shots. And in the middle, between the morning and the evening, I was trying to figure out where is this storyline, because I was talking to my friend who helped me, Joseph, um, and that's another thing, which is a challenge, which is where's the story, um, and how does it all connect? Because it's easy to just think like, oh, okay, I don't know, like it's gonna look cool because there's B-roll and the guy is talking, but no, it has to connect. It has. So we were trying to figure it out, and luckily Joseph. So thank you to Joseph who helped me. Where he said, look, if you're going on a bridge, you can connect that with his life and what it means, and what does that bridge, how does that bridge relate to his life. So we kind of did all that. I relayed the message to Max, who then we were figuring out again in the taxi, and going to Blue Waters, and like, yeah, we were just kept thinking like, what are we going to say, what are we going to do. It was tough. It was such a challenge. We were just literally on that bridge figuring out how to say certain things. um, there's a lot of footage which is not shown, where it's literally phone footage, because before I did this, which is on the nice camera, which is on the FX3, we were on the bridge and I was taking iPhone footage with my phone. And the reason why we did that was because I was like, hey, we're on this bridge. Doesn't matter. People will understand whether it's iPhone footage or FX3 footage. It doesn't matter. Like, what's important is the context of what this video is going to be about. And we couldn't get it. I couldn't understand like what we were going to do. We kept just trying and trying and trying. I was like, after a while, it was just like, okay, you know what? Never mind. It's so humid. It's so hot. And all these boats kept, uh, what's the word? They kept moving across this bridge, and they were having parties, which was funny, but that's another story. Anyway, the point is, we we couldn't really get it down. And then I was like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just take some B-roll. You looking at the bridge and looking at the views and stuff like that. We were probably hungry, so I basically we found a spot. We just started. You just had a drink, some juice or whatever. Had a quick meal down, and again, same issues. Like, security was there. They were like, "What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. Which is really annoying. But again, it's something that you just have to deal with. So I'm just scrubbing here. So this is not on the same day. This was on Saturday morning. Um, so yeah, it's again, like, so imagine, like, I spent 4 hours in the morning on a Friday, and then another 4 hours to 5 hours at night. I was even talking to Joseph in the middle. So it was literally like a whole day's work of figuring out this story. And then another, 3, 4 hours the next day, waking up and then getting the shots I need to while he's talking about his life and stuff. I needed some good B-roll shots. So yeah, so this, yeah, again, this is iPhone footage, which I'm sure no one really cares about. Like, no one even realizes. So doesn't matter. People would just don't care. It's more about what's the story about. Um, Again, putting some assets of his past life or whatever, and then this is where I this is the struggle part where he talks about his gym that basically went on fire. Um, and that to me was really interesting because that definitely to me it is some sort of struggle. Everyone faces that, and it gives reason as to why I did this, because I put it at the start, which is basically like your clickbait, where people will be interested to find out what you're talking about, or what's the whole point of this video. um, and then it continues where he says why he's come to Dubai and why he likes being here, blah blah blah. And yeah, just get some really cool shots. I didn't have, I didn't like do a crazy light setup. I literally, just like what I'm doing now. So if I show my screen now, literally it's backlight, guys. Backlight makes everything look awesome. So as you can see, I put backlight on me. It's a blue color or whatever, purple. In his case, I've put a green color. Um, and that's really it. Like, just literally getting some nice green-ish tone to this. Um, I, I, I think I subconsciously just chose green because I knew this guy is gonna like really show off muscles, and it's like almost like a Hulk. So that was like what I was thinking. Um, and then you'll see it. So again, I put Arnold. So I'm so glad he had stuff like this, because it really relates to what he's saying, which is about the dreams and stuff. And Arnold's it's like Michael Jordan. It's like Tiger Woods. It's like, I don't know. Uh, Name another big someone in football. I wouldn't know. Uh, Ronaldo. It's one of those. And then he talks about the bridge. This is literally Pexels footage. So if you don't know Pexels.com, and then bam, the last shot where I've got the green tint. I didn't even notice. I actually have my light here. But I mean, you're not gonna notice this stuff. Like, you're gonna be thinking about. I mean, it looks really bad now that I've noticed, but you're looking at, um, you're thinking about the shot and how he looks, right? What I've also done is, um, I've done this in different formats, and the reason why I've done it is because I work for a social media company, so I'm very used to doing square formats, vertical formats, and I do think that's really the way stuff is being viewed now. I mean, I've seen documentaries done by Brute. If you don't know what Brute is, it's BRUT. They are a media or new media company based in France, and they make vertical documentaries. So I can probably show you the vertical format of that. Uh, Give me a second. Actually, it should be on my Facebook. So, actually, no, whatever. Let's go to my profile. And it's good for, I mean, IGTV, obviously, no one's really watching. But what sucks is I see three people watching. But when I'm on Restream, it shows nobody's watching. So, I don't know. Anyway, so if I go to my page, look at my beautiful face. If I click on my post, I posted this in vertical. And the reason why I do that, as I've probably mentioned before, is people just don't like, you know, turning their phones. So, yep, that is. Um, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. That's 36 minutes. Wow. Okay, that's a long time. Uh, if you enjoy this, please follow, like, and do all that beautiful stuff. I'm probably going to make VOD clips of this, um, and just use them for my YouTube channel. And that's about it. Hopefully, if you have if you know someone or have a story that you think it's is worth sharing, please do let me know. I would love to do another mini documentary. It could be a friend of yours, it could be a distant friend, maybe you know someone who, you know, wants to share their story. And I would love to, if I have the opportunity to do it. Uh, yeah, it's just a challenge for me, and I hope that this video brings you some value. So if you're an aspiring videographer, or you're into storytelling, maybe a video journalist, I don't know, maybe hopefully this would have could help you in some way or form. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Peace out, and this should be my graphic out. Goodbye.